Irashaimase! Hello and welcome to Fitaurus Kitchen. I'm your host, Chef Fitaurus. It's time once again for Shoot 'em Up Saturday, and this week we're celebrating something a little special. As of last week, the Shoot 'em Up Saturday series has hit its 2-year anniversary, and to celebrate, we'll be doing several weeks of Shoot 'em Up sequels. On the menu for this week, we've got Psikyo's 1998 follow-up to their 1994 classic, Gunbird. Ladies and gentlemen, I give you Gunbird 2. Today, we'll be playing the Dreamcast port of Gunbird 2 for a couple different reasons. There are a total of 3 different game modes that you can choose to go and play between. There's the original one, which presents the horizontal screen with the top and the bottom of the screen cut off, so you're a little more restricted than a usual like Tate format. The original 2, which tries to give you the entire field of view, but don't play this mode, it's just bad. The ability to go and scroll the screen up and down makes the scrolling jerky, so it makes it an extremely difficult way to play a shoot 'em up. So definitely avoid the original 2 like the plague. And then if you happen to have a Tate setup, then you've got the arcade mode, which will allow you to run it in a vertical position. So that would be the best way to go and play this, but not everybody's going to have that kind of a setup. So playing it as original 1, we have the ability to set our game difficulty. We can go into options and change those as well. Today we'll just go ahead and play it on easy. As for options, looks good. We also have the ability to play it in a normal 1-character mode, or we can play it in a 2-character mode, which basically gives you the ability to enjoy the 2-player co-op story without actually playing with 2 players. So we're totally gonna check that mode out today. After we've selected our mode, we have the chance to go and see our characters. There are a total of 7 characters in Gunbird. You can see 5 of them here, then there are 2 secret characters, Ein and Morgan, who is one of the 2 characters we're going to pick. Once we've picked our first character, we pick our second one, and we'll go and take the witch Marion. Morgan is only in the Dreamcast port, as the Dreamcast port was handled by Capcom. So a fun little crossover character. As we start with Gunbird, one thing to note, the first 3 stages in your playthrough will be random from a list of 4 possible stages. So here we have the one that I enjoy as far as background the best, Take on Venice. Setting-wise, Gunbird takes place in an alternate history that's kind of steampunky. It's definitely awesome in its way. Mechanic-wise, we have 3 forms of attack. Our primary shot. Oh, real quick, we've got our villains here, the Queen Pirates. We've got our main shot, which through power-ups we can level up from basically a level 1 all the way up to a level 4. We also have the ability to fire a charged version of that if we're not firing not random, but if we're not firing rapid fire, which the Dreamcast version does have. In addition, we also have a melee or short-range attack, depending on the character. And both the charge shot and the melee are based off of a charge meter at the bottom of the screen. That charge meter builds up as we hit enemy units. So this is the sun element. I feel something from it. Hey, this is mine! And who are you anyway? Some fun interaction with the 2 characters. When you are playing in 2-character mode, your lives will alternate back and forth between the characters. So we start out with Morgan, then we go to Marion, and then, should we die, we're once again back to Morgan. So the third attack that I did not demonstrate in the last stage is our bomb. Of course, you start out with several with each life, and you have the ability to collect additional bombs throughout the course of the stage, like so. Each character, of course, has a unique playstyle and unique bomb. I hate that. It's gone. No need to worry. Boss is part of the plan. You're smart. You're a genius. I'll let you do it your way. That makes no sense. Morgan's bomb. She summons quite a few copies of herself that then continue to drill through the enemy, dealing heavy and consistent damage. One notable thing about the bosses in Gunbird 2 is they all have multiple stages, where we defeat one stage to have the boss transform into a second stage. And here we'll get a chance to see Marion's bomb. I want lots of bullets on the stage though. That's perfect. Hers changes all the bullets to candy, allowing for some great extra points. There's also a mechanic in Gunbird 2 where if you set off your bomb at the right time, then, or rather when bullets are actually touching your character model but not your hitbox, you'll get a points multiplier based off of the number of bullets touching you. Another interesting feature, only bullets will kill you. If you actually touch an enemy, your weapon just powers down a level. So that's an interesting feature. So there are a total of 7 stages to play through the game. And as noted, there are 7 characters with the ability to have multiple endings for all 7 characters. Oh hey, we got the point bonus guy popping up. You shoot him, he goes and fires out gems for big points. And then with all the possible co-op combinations, you actually have a lot of possible routes and endings you can seek in Gunbird 2, adding for a great amount of replay. This machine is a special one. Can you handle it, Gimmick? We can't afford to fail! So one interesting thing to note, the pirate's dialogue will be the same regardless of the order of the stages that you play them in. So a lot of times what they're saying doesn't make sense for the setting. But that's alright. Having a random stage selection does help with replay value, or at the very least, breaking up the monotony. I did get a nice bomb bonus there with my last bomb, so that's definitely great. Now, generally, the stages are short in Gunbird 2, so it's actually one that's relatively quick to play through. So, with 3 stages already under our belt, we find ourselves at the first set stage as we seek to get to the North Pole. Basically, what all the characters are trying to do is collect 3 elements, take them to this special altar, and make the ultimate medicine. Each character has their own motivations for doing so, most not altruistic. You're all hopeless. Shark, are you mad as you look? Oh, man, that goes by way too fast to read. So, plus flavors for Gunbird 2. I love the silly stories. Like, some people might not necessarily enjoy the humor that's presented here as much, but at least for me, I think it's quite fun, and, you know, bombs where everything turns to candy. How can you possibly go wrong with something like that? Also, the art style, the sprites, the extra detail that are present in the backgrounds, not so much in this stage. But in some of the earlier stages, the characters running around, and just the finer details you get, like cactus turrets, the greatest weapons ever developed, add for a fun experience. And then just the sheer number of possible endings and character combinations you can shoot for with this title. As for minus flavors, when it comes to shoot 'em ups, it doesn't really deliver a whole lot in originality. It's time to go home, little girl. This is not my real putty, to be honest. I'm 17 years old. Yeah. So, where Gunbird isn't necessarily an original shoot 'em up, it isn't a bad one either. It does what it does really well. The only other complaint that I could have is the difficulty. A lot of the bullets move at actually a fast rate, and rather than having typical bullet hell, bullet curtain style attacks, most of the shots are actually targeted towards you, sometimes making situations where dodging the bullets is nigh unto impossible. But aside from that minor inconvenience, Gunbird definitely stands out as one of Psikyo's best shoot 'em ups. And is definitely worth a playthrough from any shoot 'em up fan. So, that'll just about wrap it up for this episode of Shoot 'em Up Saturday. As I mentioned, we'll be celebrating sequels for the next several weeks, and I want to thank you so much for coming out and joining me today for Shoot 'em Up Saturday, as you have, I hope, for the last couple of years. Anyway, thank you so much for joining me, and I look forward to seeing you again next week.